Always believed my boyfriend was too busy to spend time with me, until a call from his wife shattered everything. "You're why my daughter thinks her father doesn't care about me." When I confronted him, demanding the truth, he swore, "You're the only one I care about." But his words were hollow, and I saw through the lies. I was done, so was his family. Now he's bombarding me with affection, trying to claw his way back into my life. When he teared up after I said I loved him, I thought it was mutual devotion. It was guilt. I met Ethan at a friend's apartment warming party. He was the type who carried the scent of high-end aftershave and held eye contact like it was a caress. I was 25, juggling 2 jobs, crashing on a lumpy couch that seemed to resent me. Ethan, though, had a sleek condo, drove a BMW, and wore watches that screamed wealth. He claimed he ran a niche advertising agency, always jetting off for client meetings. He said he was a night person, despised early mornings, and kept his phone on mute to avoid work intrusions. In reality, he had an arsenal of excuses I accepted without question. For 8 months, I never met anyone from his life. No friends, no family. He'd cancel plans last minute. "Urgent client issue, sorry." Or, "You'd be bored, it's all shop talk." But if I canceled on him, he'd show up at my door with roses, looking like I'd just broken his heart. Once I asked him to call me during his workday, nothing big, just a quick check-in. He refused, saying he kept work and personal life separate. I didn't push. I rearranged my life to fit his schedule, staying up late, shifting work hours, even dropping my Tuesday ceramics workshop because he always wanted to chat then. It wasn't a relationship, it was emotional manipulation. The cracks appeared when I found a hairbrush with long red hair in his car's glove box. Ethan's hair was black. I held it up, half laughing. "Should I be concerned?" He chuckled, leaned in, and said, "You're the only woman who makes me want to be honest." My heart warmed, and I bought it. A week later, a call from an unknown number changed everything. A woman's voice, trembling but steady. "I know who you are. I've seen his messages." My stomach sank. "This is Laura, Ethan's wife. We've been married for a decade. We have a daughter. And you're why she asks why her dad doesn't love me anymore." I couldn't respond. I stood frozen on the sidewalk, keys dangling, my sense of direction gone. Laura wasn't even mad, just drained. "You're not the first," she said before hanging up. I waited hours before texting him. "Did you lie about everything?" No reply. The next day, a voice message arrived, 4 minutes of choked sobs ending with a whispered, "You're the only one who ever felt true to me." I should have blocked him. I nearly did. Instead, I texted, "We need to talk." He agreed. We met in a dimly lit parking lot behind an all-night diner. He looked disheveled, eyes puffy, jacket creased. "I didn't mean for it to go this way," he said, launching into a speech about his failing marriage, his loneliness, how he thought he was falling for me. I asked why he never told me the truth. He met my gaze and said, "Because I knew you'd walk away if I did, and I needed you to stay." I slapped him, not hard, just enough to ground myself. For 2 weeks I was a mess, unable to eat, sleep, or even open my curtains. I felt tainted. Then I did something unexpected. I returned to my Tuesday ceramics workshop. Same teacher, same cluttered studio, same woman beside me who always shared her snacks without expecting anything in return. That class became my sanctuary. Then last week, I saw a girl in my building's parking lot. Yellow hoodie, nervous eyes, clutching her phone, tears streaming. She looked barely 19 and like Ethan's mirror image. She got into a BMW and as she sped off, flung a cup of cola at me. I stood there, soda dripping down my shirt, too stunned to react. A neighbor sidestepped me cautiously. I couldn't blame them. At home, I stripped off the sticky clothes and took a scalding shower. That girl's face haunted me. She despised me, thinking I'd ruined her family. But I was just another of Ethan's victims. That night, I found her on Instagram, Sophie Carter. Her profile was open, typical teen posts, selfies, her dog, a few family photos from last Christmas. Ethan, Laura, and Sophie in matching scarves by a tree, looking like the perfect family. I messaged her. "I think we should talk. I didn't know about your parents." She blocked me instantly. I tried to move on. This wasn't my problem to fix. But Sophie's furious glare, the soda incident, it stuck with me. Ethan hadn't just deceived me. He'd made me the villain in their family story, the outsider tearing them apart. 3 days later, I saw Sophie again, sitting on a bench outside the cafe where I worked, earbuds in, staring at her phone. I hesitated but grabbed an extra blueberry scone, our top seller, and left it beside her before walking away. "Wait," she called. I turned. She'd pulled her earbuds off. "Why are you being kind? I threw soda at you." I shrugged. "Because you're not the one I'm angry at." She eyed me, then nodded to the bench. I sat, keeping some distance. He told us you knew, she said softly, that you chased him even though he was married. My blood chilled. Of course he'd painted me as the aggressor. I didn't know, I said. I swear not until your mom called. She looked doubtful. Why should I trust you? Fair point. I showed her my phone, our texts, his first messages asking me out, late-night visits, promises of a future. Not once did he mention a wife or daughter. He said he lived alone, that his family was toxic, that he had client emergencies. I explained. Sophie scrolled, her face paling. These are from nights he said he was working late, Mom's anniversary, my choir performance. I'm so sorry, I said. I never would have. I know, she interrupted. I can tell. We sat quietly, then she shared her story. Years of her parents' fights, Ethan's late nights and business trips, Laura's suspicions. She'd found receipts for dinners and hotels in his email. He told Mom you were some obsessed coworker who wouldn't leave him alone, Sophie said. That you were stalking him. I wasn't shocked. Ethan was a master liar manipulating us all. Why did you come find me? I asked. Sophie twisted her hoodie strings. I found more messages on his laptop, not just you. Others, her voice broke. Hating you was easier than hating him. My heart ached for her. No kid should deal with this. I get it, I said. I wanted to hate your mom at first. Easier than admitting I'd been played. We talked for nearly 2 hours about Ethan's tactics, how he pitted us against each other, the intricate lies he wove. Mom's considering divorce, Sophie said. But he keeps begging for another chance, promising therapy, calling it a midlife crisis. I scoffed. He's 34, Sophie's eyes widened. No, he's 41. Another lie. I wasn't even surprised anymore. Sophie, I said carefully, your mom needs to know everything, the other women, the lies about his age, all of it. She nodded. I know, but it'll break what's left of our family. I touched her shoulder. Your dad already broke it. The truth just makes it official. 2 days later, Sophie texted me. She'd shown Laura the messages. Laura had kicked Ethan out. He was at a hotel, bombarding their phones with pleas. I felt relieved but wary. Ethan was persuasive, a master at twisting reality. I told Sophie to have Laura save everything, texts, voicemails, anything legal in their state. Then Laura called, asking to meet for coffee. I was nervous but agreed. We met at a cozy cafe across town. Laura wasn't what I expected, strikingly natural, no makeup, hair in a loose bun, eyes heavy with exhaustion. Thank you for talking to Sophie, she said as we sipped our drinks. She told me everything. I stared at my cappuccino. I'm so sorry, I had no idea. I believe you, Laura said. Ethan's very convincing. We compared stories, his lies, manipulations, guilt trips, love bombing when he sensed control slipping. The parallels were chilling. There were others before you, Laura said. I found out about 2 over the years. He swore they were nothing, that he'd change. And you stayed, I said, not judging. She nodded. A decade of marriage, a house, a kid, it's not easy to walk away. I got it, the trap of sunk costs. What now? I asked. Divorce, she said firmly. I've got a lawyer, I should have done this years ago. Relief washed over me, not because their marriage was ending, but because Laura was breaking free. As we were leaving, her phone rang, Sophie frantic. Ethan was at their house causing a scene. I have to go, Laura said, grabbing her bag. I'll come, I offered. If that's okay, she nodded, surprised but grateful. We drove separately to their house, a charming 2-story in a quiet suburb. Ethan's BMW was parked crookedly in the driveway. His voice carried. You're overreacting, it didn't mean anything. I winced. He was talking about me, the woman he'd claimed to love. Laura squeezed my arm. Ready? I nodded, though I wasn't. Ethan was on the porch, gesturing wildly as Sophie stood in the doorway, arms crossed. He froze when he saw us together. What's she doing here? He demanded, pointing at me. Cleaning up your lies, Laura said calmly. Sophie, inside. Sophie hesitated but obeyed, shutting the door. It was just us 3 now, a tense standoff in the yard. Ethan recovered fast. So you're teaming up to vilify me? You did that yourself, I said. You lied to everyone. He turned to me, eyes sharp. I told you we were separated, that my marriage was over. No, I shot back. You never mentioned a wife or daughter, not once in 8 months. He scoffed. You knew. You had to know. This was the real Ethan, no charm, just a man scrambling to rewrite the truth. We have proof, Laura said. Your texts from her phone, the others, your laptop. It's done. His demeanor shifted, voice softening as he stepped toward Laura. We can fix this, babe. Think of Sophie, our family. I watched him pivot to pleading, a tactic I knew too well. There is no family anymore, Laura said. Leave, my lawyer will handle it. Ethan's eyes flicked to me. You think you're blameless, you knew what you were doing. I laughed at the absurdity. I knew what you told me, nothing but lies. He stared, then got in his car and drove off without another word. The silence was heavy. Laura exhaled. "That went better than I thought." I raised an eyebrow. "Really?" She nodded. "Last time he smashed a lamp when I confronted him." Inside, Sophie sat on the stairs, clearly having overheard. "Is he gone?" she asked. "For now," Laura said, "but he'll try again." Sophie looked at me. "What do we do?" I was surprised to be included, but said, "We hold to the truth together no matter what he tries." Over the next few days, Ethan alternated between groveling and threats. He sent Laura extravagant bouquets with apologetic notes, texted Sophie about missing her, messaged me from new numbers when I blocked him. "I never meant to hurt you," one read. "What we had was real." I shared every message with Laura and Sophie in our group chat, where we tracked his tactics. It was almost absurd, seeing him use the same lines on all of us, unaware we were comparing notes. "He just texted he's at a hotel thinking of ending it," Laura said one night. "You get that too?" "Yup," I replied, 10 minutes ago." "Same," Sophie added, "but he's at a club someone tagged him on Instagram." We laughed not because the threat was funny, but because his manipulation was so obvious now. Our unity turned his weapon, isolation, against him. A week later, Ethan showed up at my apartment. I was returning from ceramics, clay on my hands, when I saw him by my door. "We need to talk," he said. I gripped my keys. "I've got nothing to say." 5 minutes, he pleaded. 2, I said. "Out here, you're not coming in." "I'm sorry," he started. "I know I lied, but what we had wasn't fake." "It was all fake," I cut in. "There was no us. You were married with a daughter, living a lie." He shook his head. "My marriage was dead. We stayed together for Sophie." "That's not what Laura or Sophie say." His face hardened. "So you're all pals now, trashing me?" "Actually, yes," I said. "It's been cathartic." He switched gears. "I'm getting divorced." "Once it's done, maybe we could." "No," I interrupted. "I'll never trust you again." "I'm in therapy," he pressed. "I'm changing." "Good," I said, "but that's not my journey." I moved to my door. He blocked it slightly. "Just consider it. We were good together." I met his eyes, once mesmerizing, now empty. "No, we weren't. I was with a lie and you were with someone who didn't ask questions." I slipped inside, locked the door. He knocked, called my name, then left. I texted Laura to warn her. "He's here now," she replied with an eye-roll emoji. "Brought Sophie's favorite cookies and concert tickets." "What do you do?" I asked. "Told him to leave the cookies, tickets, and himself." I smiled. Laura was tougher than I'd thought. We all were. Over the next month, Ethan's attempt slowed. The divorce moved forward. Laura had years of evidence of his deceit. Sophie started therapy, grappling with her feelings about her dad. I was healing too, back to ceramics twice weekly, landing an advertising internship, dipping into dating with more caution. My ceramics friend, Clara, gave me an amethyst ring for my birthday. "Protects against nonsense," she said. I wear it daily, not as a reminder of Ethan, but of my strength, the women who supported me, and the power of truth.